What is going on, guys? Ichan here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel if you're new. Today I want to talk about AMC, GameStop, what is happening on this beautiful Saturday. We do have Memorial Day weekend this weekend, so drop your plans in the comments down below. I will try to answer as many comments as I can. Overall, hopefully you enjoy this video or find value out of it and enjoy your weekend. Without further ado, let's get into it. All I ask you guys to do, it's free, it helps me out. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let's go. Charles Payne tweeted, "The dead industry that refuses to die. I'm going to the movies this weekend. How about you?" As you guys can see from the chart that he posted, the domestic box office total year to date through May 18th has risen drastically year over year, now sitting up around $3 billion, which is scaling back up to pre-pandemic levels. On top of that, Adam Aaron actually quoted this tweet and says, "You tell him, Charles Payne, we still have a healthy climb ahead of us to get back to pre-pandemic levels, but we are resilient and resourceful bunch. At least at AMC Entertainment, we are. We will continue to fight as hard as we can to someday make COVID just an ancient memory." Beautiful thing to see as the fundamentals are doing well. We also had a guest visit the AMC theaters, Vin Diesel from the new Fast X movie. Adam Aaron says, "You never know who you are going to meet at an AMC theater." Vin Diesel, Fast and Furious franchise star, popped by our AMC Empire 25 in Manhattan to greet fans set to watch his latest action-packed Fast X, a total surprise to the moviegoers there. If you guys were at this theater, shout out to you. That is actually super dope. And on top of that, before we get into some more of the juicy stuff, 1 million investors have now enrolled in AMC's Investor Connect, which is actually a huge thing to see, seeing how much investors actually care about the company and are actually associating themselves with the inside stuff. So now that we got the fundamentals out of the way and what's going on with AMC, we talked about in yesterday's video what's happening with Citadel. Hedge funds are exploiting a shady trade to cash in on the debt crisis, and the SEC and Fed are questioning prime brokers. Now, Millennium Management in particular holds position in AMC via APE, and this is the second largest holder of APE outside of Antera, which is one of the hedge funds who are exploiting a shadowy trade to cash in on the debt crisis. Moving on, something interesting happening with Carl Ichan, correlated over to GameStop, slight tinfoil hat theory, in quotes, "Look what he did to Ackman over Herbalife. Ichan planning a counterattack against Hindenburg and short sellers." He states, and this tweet goes, "I think Hindenburg went after Ichan to try and stop him from closing his GameStop shorts. They caused the run on IEP to try and force Ichan to spend his money defending his stock instead of spending it on closing his old GameStop shorts. The thing is, Ichan is an insanely patient man, if anything, a true ape. Now that he can see what they're up to, he's going to wait. And he's going to wait, and he'll close the shorts when IEP bottoms out. That is when he will close the shorts. He will then take profits and buy back his own IEP at discounted rates. He will get to make an even bigger killing, and he gets to screw the people 10 times over that tried to screw him. I think when we see IEP finally bottom out, we will see GameStop take off a few days later." Now, if you take a look at the chart for IEP, you will see it trading at $20.65, down about 1 week earlier from $51.30. So the price cut by more than half, actually, the price cut. And you see these random flushes and rises in this stock. And if we overlay GameStop, the charts play out pretty similarly as well. Overall, if this tinfoil hat theory is true, IEP looks about to bottom out very, very soon. If not, right at that $20 range, coming down to about $8 or so. You guys let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. But on top of that, speaking of GameStop, since we are on the topic of GameStop, the AMC versus GameStop fails to delivers are very, very odd, as GameStop on some days has only 5 fails to deliver, while AMC has 5 million fails to deliver, for example. Now, I wouldn't say that this has more squeeze potential, as Crystal Ball says on Twitter, but I do find it odd. You guys let me know if you think this has to do with something that has to do with DRSing your shares, or is it that the volume is insanely low for GameStop, not a lot of people are buying it up anymore, and they don't necessarily have to deliver anything. However, I find it weird, right? GameStop hasn't been on the threshold list. AMC has been on the threshold list several times, but GameStop's on-balance volume is higher than AMC's. It has recently hit a brand new all-time high for the on-balance volume, which means it's being accumulated, and AMC's is kind of chop trading sideways but yet there's more fails to deliver on AMC. Overall, you let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. Also, guys, in the video yesterday, we talked about the S&P 500 correlating over to Bitcoin and how it tracks literally the same day, and Bitcoin has been scaling down while the S&P 500 is heading for a new relative peak. I think this is still a fake out, so I think to be very, very skeptical on trading the market this week. In my opinion, it is going to be a red week for the market, even though it does look like it wants to break out. But on top of that, what's interesting is not only Bitcoin, if you place AMC over the S&P 500 and realize, okay, they're trading the same exact way, one predicts one another, AMC has been scaling back down just like Bitcoin, while the S&P 500 is basically veering, right? So they are just switching to slightly go inverse. And you know what happens when they go inverse? Either this is a major fake out or there is a lot of pressure on short sellers. Before we close out the video, guys, if you want to know my trades as soon as I take them, plus we have some big stuff to come. I don't want to announce it yet, but join the Discord. The link is under the video, where we have 500 just about members in there who talk stocks all day long. So you guys have to surround yourself with people who are interested in the same thing as you, which is essentially making money. Plus, if you want a chance up to $40,000 for just depositing a penny, sign up for Moomoo using my link, open an account and make a deposit. You are going to get a chance at 20 free stocks, each valued up to $2,000 per stock. Plus, if you're from Australia and you sign up with my link and make a deposit, you are getting a guaranteed 10 free AMC stocks plus another 10 on top of that. Back to the video. Vanguard Wealth Management Service to pay an $800,000 fine for providing misleading statements to customers due to accounting errors, according to FINRA. Speaking of FINRA, from February 2014 through April 2017, Morgan Stanley submitted at least 869 inaccurate blue sheets to the SEC and FINRA, misreporting information on at least 156,678 options transactions. Morgan Stanley was just fined by FINRA for inaccurate blue sheet submission. Morgan Stanley probably made a killing off of those 156,000 options transactions, and the fee is probably not as much as they made. Also, a lot of stuff that happens where these institutions get fined, it's still not justice for retail, as, for example, when the buy button was taken away, even though institutions were fined back then, what happens to retail's money who lost money when the buy button was taken away? On top of that, US banks are now cutting 3,000 roles globally amidst the banking crisis, and the US federal government's debt has been labeled a global pyramid scheme by a Russian lawmaker who says it's heading for an inevitable collapse. Plus, yesterday's China top rating firm downgraded the United States credit rating, paper assets versus hard assets coming up. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of your weekend. I love you all. Lottery stocks out. Alright guys, before we start the week next week, also just to put this in the end of the video in case you guys do care, here are the top trending tickers on FinTwit. We have Mara, VBLT, AFRI, Wish, Coco, Riot, Overstock, LTC, HUT, CORZ, LOVE, IDEX, PTGX, ELEV, VSTM, BHG, TDSB, TLRY, ITOS, INOD, GSIT, QTEK, IONQ, EFTR, LXRX. Also, some of these tickers are trending on r/short squeeze, so keep that in the back of your head as well.